Good morning. Today, I'm going to be exploring why I think America cannot possibly be a real place. I found a collection of things that Americans have said to people from around the world, and I refuse to believe they are real people. So let's explore together, because we all need a good laugh. First one we've got here is a woman talking about how it's impossible to have a Southern English accent. I'm not sure how that's possible. A Southern English accent? What kind of disaster would that be? How would that even work? First of all, more than one country has a South, not just America. Obviously, most of you know that. And obviously, you can have an accent from the South. Stupid Americans. What, you've never heard of someone from London before? Sweetie, British people do not have southern accents, but bless your heart. No, we don't have South American accents. It's not even South America. South America is a full other continent. We don't have your southern accent. We have our southern accent, which I have, and it makes me sound like a posh twat. We also have an American here thinking that you can pay for anything with $1. Not to mention it's euro in France. I know, US dollars are a universal currency. You can pay with them anywhere in Europe, unlike euros. Some shops in Amsterdam only accept dollars. That is not true. Frankly, they probably might accept dollars as well, but they do not only accept dollars. Nowhere only accepts dollars unless you're in America. There's like 4 other kinds of dollars. You've got Australian ones, you've got Canadian ones, you've got probably more. Even Australia doesn't accept American dollars. They have to have their own. What kind of stupid idiot are you? I think this is probably one of the favourite things I've seen. This has to be from America, because I cannot possibly imagine any other country that a boss would put this down as a real rule. Attention all staff. When you're not working, you must be reachable via your cell phone. If you cannot be reached to accept the voluntary mandatory shift coverage, voluntary, mandatory, it's not really an oxymoron, it's a contradiction. Shift coverage of a co-worker who is called in, you will be written up, 2 or more write-ups, and you will be eligible for termination. Remember to ask yourself, how best can I serve my company? When you're thinking about not answering your phone while on your day off or vacation. Go team. You don't have to answer your phone on vacation or on your day off. That's sort of the whole point. And you don't, how can I best serve the company? This person thinks they're Ronald Reagan or whoever said that before. It's insane. You don't serve the company. You do a thing and they pay you for your services. Which I suppose is serving it, but you're doing labour in exchange for work. You're not. This isn't some sort of team building thing. It's probably, the worst part is it's probably a minimum wage shift as well. You know, it's probably at like a McDonald's or something where they take their jobs far too seriously. It's a crazy place out there. Europe isn't very big. What would you do for 2 weeks? Probably explore. There's like 40 countries in Europe. That's an overstatement. There's probably not. Actually, how many countries are there? Oh, there's 50 countries in Europe. Well, actually undershooting. So that's a lot to do in 2 weeks. I'd argue you could probably, well, you could do anything really. Fucking hell. How do you believe that Europe is so small? It's about the size of America, at least. And if you can't find something to do in America for 2 weeks, what have you got left, really? I'm from, and then a US flag. I speak US and Canadian, and I live in Ireland. Well, I bet they love you there. Also, you don't speak US and Canadian. You speak English. Or French, I suppose. The Canadian could be. What? What do you mean you speak Canadian? You just apologise a lot. Is that what that means? Good work from Greg's over here, really defending the front. People in England don't realise their shitty little country is as big as Minnesota. Greg's in the UK, over 2,450. Greg's in Minnesota, 0. Does that make it better than Minnesota? Probably. I can't name a single thing in Minnesota. I don't think anyone outside of Minnesota could. I don't think Americans can even name anything in Minnesota. There's a good chance they might not even know where it is. When I arrived in America and the first thing Border Control said was, born in 2002, I was invading a foreign country that year. I think America was invading a foreign country every year. It's what can only be described as their favourite hobby. But, I guess don't let war crimes stop you from doing what you love. Invasion. Good lord. Without Googling, name something the USA invented. Some guy posted back with the light bulb, gas, nukes, internet, personal computing, iPhone, flight, car production. Basically everything that matters. I can tell you one thing that's definitely not true. The internet one. I'm 90% sure that was headed up by Sir Tim Berners-Lee, who is a Brit. Flight. I think flying machines were invented before them. Car production. Yeah, actually, to be fair, that one is. Not cars, but car production. Henry Ford was revolutionary in making sure nobody enjoyed work anymore. Nukes. It's not a good one to have invented, really, is it? Gas was definitely already around before America. I feel pretty confident in saying gas existed before the country of the United States of America was formed. I feel quite confident in that statement. And the iPhone, which, yeah, I guess that was American, but there were phones before that. But they did invent the iPhone. Good job. Why are there so many languages? Just have 4 or 5 at most. What do you mean? Why does Europe have so many languages? Can't they just have English, French, German, Russian and Turkish? Oh right, in Belarus they only speak Russian, and in Romania Italian. Oh, and Bulgaria speaks Turkish. Dude, what the fuck? I mean, why does Europe have so many different languages? As a genuine question, why did someone create a whole new language? There's a lot of Europe does speak pretty similar languages. A lot of them speak French and German. But, other languages exist. That is how it works. Why do they need to speak one language? You can learn more than one. I'm not saying I know more than one language. I'm not nearly skilled enough to even remember how to do any of my GCSE Spanish. But it is possible to learn more than one. This one, I do agree with. Calling it a chicken sandwich over a chicken burger. But not because I think it should be a chicken sandwich, but because I think the term is basically interchangeable. All burgers are sandwiches, but not all sandwiches are burgers. In fact, I'm even a firm believer of the fact that all food is either a salad or a sandwich, and that you can basically decide which one it can be from probably a flowchart. It's not that hard. Basically, if it's covered in bread or a carbohydrate, basically a sandwich. So a burger's a sandwich, a wrap's a type of sandwich, a hot dog's a sandwich. It's not. I reckon it's pretty interchangeable. Here's one I particularly enjoy: flag etiquette at parades. When an American flag passes, stand up, remove your hat, place your right hand over your heart, stop any conversation you're having. Note, it is not necessary to salute every American flag that passes. If it is carried by an honor guard or in a group with other flags, stand up and salute, or pay respect to the flag. Do not salute small handheld flags carried by parade attendees and participants. Teach your children to respect our nation's flag. If they are given a small flag, please do not throw it on the ground or street. That is a lot of rules for flags. But it does actually remind me of the time where I was in Wild Woods in New Jersey, and I was on a walk down some sort of boardwalk near a pier on the beach, and I was unaware that there was a thing that they do every day where everybody stops, just dead stops, silent, and the American national anthem, I was going to say theme song, that's not right, the national anthem starts playing. And as an English boy who didn't know this was a thing, it was physically terrifying just to see everyone around me stop, almost like hand on heart, just staring ahead. And I'm just carrying on because I don't know what's going on. I'm not American. I don't care. Everyone's sort of looking at me like I'm a weirdo, like I've killed their dog in front of them. And then I speak out loud and they go, oh, oh, oh. It's just a weird... You didn't catch that happening in this country, do you? Nobody cares enough to stop for the national anthem unless it's a football game. Really, that's the only time we care about the national anthem. America is a first world country. All other countries are second or third world. You don't really grasp the full concept of that until you start travelling. You can go to England or France, or in this case, Italy, and on the surface it might look like a fully developed nation. But as you start to closely examine everything you come into contact with, you get a deep sense of cheap imitation, like a movie set that's just being propped up. These countries are older than yours. What do you mean? I mean, the England one kind of makes sense. There are some shitholes in this country, but we are an older country than everyone's an older country. America's one of the youngest countries, other than the ones that formed because of civil wars recently. Like, how do you look at your own country and think, oh, this is the only first world country? Why are we even why do we need to have second world countries? I think we're perfectly fine with just having things as being a country, really. American accent is the correct one. I just can't take UK rap seriously. They legit put on the accent to seem posh. The UK used to sound more like us before the 1800s. No, you used to sound like us. You had this voice and then stopped it. What do you mean you can't take I mean, I can't take UK rap seriously, but that's because I've seen the people who enjoy it, and, you know, they're like 15 and with balaclavas on running around, because they're cool. But also, I wouldn't call it posh. It's definitely not a posh accent, unless you're talking about Unknown P. That's some posh rapping. I'm confused because if Tokyo's metro has 33 million more people than Houston's, why does the latter have more congested highways? The one that won the war has freedom. I don't know about you, but having all the congested highways seems like the opposite of freedom to me. It seems like you're a bit more trapped. Also, a metro is definitely a good thing. And I don't understand how is having a congested highway good? If anything, the Tokyo thing proves that the metro is good for congestion. You worry about them. Sometimes you do. Unseasoned food is wrongly attributed to white Americans. It's really white Europeans that don't season. France, Italy, Greece, Spain. Leave the comment section, please. Notice I said white. Learn to read. Two things there. It's not white Europeans that don't know how to season. It's the English. And number two, France is definitely white. And so is Spain, majoritarily. But, I mean, people debate whether Italy and Greece are white, but that's up to them, really. It doesn't really matter. It is the English that don't know how to season their food. It does. English food is terrible. The most seasoned thing we've ever created is the fish and chips, and I wouldn't even call it seasoning. It's just deep frying to all shit. Anyway, thanks for taking this lovely little journey with me into trying to discover whether America is real. I'm like the new Christopher Columbus, but without all the issues. But to be honest, I don't think they're real. I think it's entirely possible these are all fake, and it's an Englishman pretending to be American. But there's so many of them that if it is fake, he's doing an excellent job, frankly. So, thank you for watching, and so long.